hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that ScubaRadio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Up under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for ScubaRadio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. First show of 2026, and a special edition is what it's about to become, because we have a pretty cool thing planned for today's broadcast. We're going to talk to the inductees of the 2026 class of the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. Willie Klein, the guy I do the Level Up podcast is with us to kick it off as well. Willie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. We also got our really good friend Stephen Broadbelt with us as well, which is chairman of the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame Board of Directors.
That's right. Yeah, and works at Ocean Frontiers there in the Cayman Islands as well.
Yeah,
and
kind of is like the owner, co-owner.
Yeah. The big Kahuna, is that the official title, or Grand Poobah of diving, Steve, or what do you prefer? No,
the janitor.
The janitor. Okay, the cleanup crew. Fair enough. And of course, Willie is involved with it as well. Not only does he do Scuba Diving Industry Magazine, but he serves as the official title, helping out the Hall of Fame there in the Caymans.
Executive director, yeah.
Okay.
I relate to my title very similar to what Stephen does. I do all the cleanup.
Janitor. I think Grand Poobah, or something like that would be much more appropriate. But Willie came to me and said, "Hey, look, we got the class for 2026. What would you think about having them on ScubaRadio?" I'm like, my gosh, are you kidding me? That'd be an honor. And so that's what we're going to do on the show today, is talk about the folks that were inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame, which is quite a facility in its own right. I mean, Steve, why don't you just lead off and tell me exactly, why was this thing developed in the first place? What do you think?
Yeah, well, over 20 years ago, all of the pioneers, the people that built the industry, made it safer, made it more accessible, made it more popular, and the growth of the industry were not the people that did this were not recognized. And since then, with over 20 years in, with just over 100 inductees into the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
We've really built a foundation of generations past and current generations, and a real platform for future generations to jump up from.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question. I've been in the industry for 30 years almost now, and I don't know everybody who's led the lead, blazed the dive trail, or created the dive plan for us to continue on. It's really amazing to hear some of the stories that kind of laid the groundwork for the industry over the years, and that's what you guys recognize and feature, and it's, I mean, we should have started this a long time ago. It's only been in existence how long? The International Diving Hall of Fame, Willie? What how many years?
20 years.
It has been that long already?
It has. And you know what I like to say? I think the best way to sum it up is, history lives underwater, and we get to tell its story. Through the people every year that we induct. I mean, it really, truly brings the history of diving alive. I mean, we've got every single Cousteau, I think, except for maybe a couple of grandkids have been inducted. All of our good friends, Neil Watson, which is a regular on the show here, he's been inducted. Stuart Cove, Peter Hughes. It's just a huge number of people here. And so they're joining a class of very, very, very unique individuals who really are the elite and the champions of our industry. And the whole industry has learned to dive because of most of these people that are in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And the facility itself is quite impressive. I haven't yet been there myself. It's been on my bucket list for some time, but when you go to the Cayman Islands, you got to go because you'll see some amazing, artifacts and things, but obviously even dive deeper into the stories of all these inductees from over the years, right?
Well, you got to have a day of rest. Everybody knows you got to have that decompression stop that last day. Mm-hmm. This is the perfect thing to do on that last day. This is the best decompression day you can have. It's in a beautiful facility called Pedro St. James. It's out of town. It's on this beautiful bluff that faces the ocean. It is probably the most appropriate place that the museum ever could have been located, and it's really cool. Yeah. It's the grounds itself are beautiful too, and there's a restaurant there that's Thatch and Barrel, has great food. So it's a really cool kind of fun afternoon outing. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
Yeah, we had a staff Christmas party there just last week.
Yeah. So, are you a little frustrated because you were the one that had to clean it up as the janitor in charge? No, I'm kidding.
No, I didn't actually. I just had to pay the bill.
Yeah, well, okay. Right. Well, that's that could be a thing. That could get a little pricey, maybe. But yeah, I've heard amazing things about the facility, and yeah, I've always thought. It's so important to spotlight some of the pioneers. Like you said, we've had a lot of them on Scuba Radio, but there's a lot that kind of get lost in the mix. So, they don't get as quite a bright a spotlight as someone like a Stuart Cover or Neil Watson that we, is kind of an everyday name. But there's a lot of folks that, this is a great way to learn about some amazing contributions that they've made to the dive industry over the year. You think, Willie? Over the years?
Yeah, there's 5 people here on this call, and from far away is Malaysia, and they are 5 true champions in their own rights for the industry. And I'm really proud that last year, through Stephen's leadership, we inducted an all-woman class, which include Simone Milor, the very first Cousteau, the very first woman diver, pretty much known to people. Yeah. That was Jacques Cousteau's first wife, and then this year we've got some incredible. Our early pioneer is honoring the founder of Maris, that was actually founded the year that the Aqualung was patented. People don't realize that close association between Aqualung and Maris, and of course now Aqualung is owned by Maris.
Yes.
So it's kind of full circle.
Well, there you go. Of course, yes, and the class for 2026. It was announced. Was it announced at the DEMA show? Where?
Yeah. It was in Stephen's booth at the Ocean Frontiers booth. We did the official announcement and had quite a nice little crowd there. And we had several of the folks that are here on the call today with us, and we really appreciate that. So, yeah, it was a great show. If you were at the DEMA show, you probably might have seen it, but we definitely hope that you'll come down to Cayman and come see the museum. It's really worth it.
Well, no doubt about that. Like I said, it's been on my bucket list for some time. Maybe I'll have to make that happen for 2026. Do we even have the dates or a time when? I mean, there's going to be a ceremony in 2026
we do right? a ceremony each year. It's usually in September, and it's the government just goes full out for it. It's a dinner. It's a wonderful evening. It's a true honor the way they treat the inductees. They also have some local honorees. There's people within the Cayman diving community that receives the honor as well. And it's a really fun week. We do diving. We do school visits. We go to different high schools. This year we did, I think, Stephen, 3 or 4 school visits we did, and talked to hundreds of kids about the careers in diving. And it's going to be expanded next year. We did a poster contest at the school level, which was really cool for the arts side of it. So it's a whole week of interactivity and diving.
Excellent. All right, so we have the 2026 inductees with us today. Let's run down the list. And tease everybody of what's coming up over the next hour or so, Willie. We got Amos Nachum. We got who else? Run down the list for me, Willie.
Well, we got Saeed from Malaysia, Saeed Rahman. We've got Thomas Cook from Aqua Hands, which is a deaf course director. Does signing. It's fantastic. Him and I have had this incredible discussion at DEMA and an interview we did with him about how that wouldn't it be cool if the training agencies taught divers 20 or 25 underwater hand signals so you could actually communicate.
Other than just saying signal. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel weird.
I mean, how cool would that? I mean, he has no limitation. When he's underwater, he can talk to his students like above water. It's really cool.
Hey, we got people from Hawaii as well. So we got a lot coming up on the big show. Special edition 2026 inductees into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame coming up. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
And I am Greg the Dive Master. Special edition of the big show today. We have the inductees for 2026 for the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame in the Cayman Islands. By the way, Willie Klein with me. Also, we got Steve, who is executive director, Grand Poobah, janitor of the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Caymans. Willie's
AKA chairman.
Yeah, chairman. Willie's the executive director, Grand Poobah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So first up on our list is Ed. So why don't you just run it down? Who is Ed and what did he contribute to the dive industry there, Willie?
I'm probably not as qualified as Steve to talk about Ed because he has a long history with him, but I know a few highlights. I know he started in the 50s. He brought nitrox to the Cayman Islands, co-owned Fisheye Photo, where he got to take one of the president's sons scuba diving, actually. So
wow.
He's got a lot of history with Cayman. I know he's been involved with the country for many, many, many years. That goes back, like I said, to the 50s. So that's, if Steve, you want to comment about anything before we introduce Ed?
Yeah. You have anything to add there, Steve?
Well, I always tell everybody, my claim to fame is that I used to babysit Ed's pet tarantula.
Wow. Okay. That's something.
34 years ago. And he was always off on some road show promoting the Cayman Islands. He traveled the world with his slide deck in those days before things were digital. And he would go knocking on doors of any dive club on the planet that would have him. And he'd be gone for months on the road, going door to door, selling, dive tourism, and at that time specifically, the Cayman Islands. So he was a warrior for putting us on the map in the Cayman Islands, and certainly loved very much by the Department of Tourism here. He was doing a lot of their work for them, and really, made a difference in exposing the destination to a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't have heard about us. So that was my kind of interaction with Ed. Met him briefly, and he's like, "Yeah, you can stay at my house, but you gotta babysit my pet tarantula."
Yeah.
And but
well, I think we got to ask him right out of the box, Ed. How's the tarantula, or did it go the way of the Great White North, or I don't know where tarantulas go? But welcome to Scuba Radio. First off, I guess. How are you?
How you doing? Yeah, I forgot about my little pet. Yeah, I had him in a little glass case in my house.
Yeah.
And he was just low maintenance.
Okay, fair enough. All right. But yeah, it sounds like you've done quite a bit over the years. And how do you feel about being inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame, Ed?
I am so honored and pleased. I think it's, I spent many years promoting the Caymans, and I'm so honored to be inducted into the International Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, I bet. Any standout thing that you've done in your career that you are most proud of? I'm putting them on the spot, I'm sure now. But
I started in the Caymans in the early 70s. And when I was teaching at the University of Tampa, I got some businessmen, and they had a DC-3, a World War II DC-3. So we used to get 20 divers and fly them into Cayman Brac for a weekend of diving. There was only one hotel on Cayman Brac at that time. It was called the Buccaneer, no boats. So we'd fly in, and they'd stay at the hotel, and we'd do shore dives, and that's how we did it. We used to fly, on a regular basis out of St. Petersburg.
But you were one of the pioneers who brought nitrox, or AKA voodoo gats, to the Cayman Islands.
In those days, it was voodoo gas. Nobody, skin diver was against it. Everybody was sort of against it. But I got involved with a few guys, Tom Mount, Dick Rakowski, and they, I believed in it, and I took a bunch of courses, and I formed a nitrox committee with the Cayman Islands Water Sports, and I had a lot of opposition, but I brought Tom Mount down one week, and he gave a free class to all the owners of the dive shops in Cayman, and that sort of swung their attitude, and we finally got it approved for the instructors, and then approved for the regular divers coming in. It was a it was really good. And I think that opened it up for once Cayman got into it, I think the rest of the Caribbean sort of opened it up too. So
Yeah.
it was.
Well,
That
but
was
you
an
got
amazing-
that. Yeah, I would imagine. I've heard stories similar to this over the years. Those pioneers like that. They, you bring this up to folks, and they kind of give you this kind of wild-eyed, crazy look, like, oh, he's the nutty one. Were you getting that back in the
Yeah.
day too, or what?
Oh yeah, voodoo gas. That's what everybody called it.
Yeah.
Everybody, but I sort of fell in love with it and thought it was a very safe thing for divers. It was mainly to make their dives safer. And
Yeah.
and
Well, it turned
that's
out
how
to
we
be the
got it
case.
approved.
I mean, I don't dive
Yeah.
without it, and it's pretty much common, everywhere you go around the world now. I mean, we kind of take it for granted, but yeah, back in the day, they all thought you were crazy. But obviously, you sold it well because a U.S. president let you certify his son. Is that the deal,
Yeah.
really? Are you allowed to say who, or you have to kill me?
Our
if you
Secret
told me?
Service is
It
going
was
to come
George
visit you.
Bush's, the first George Bush son,
Oh
his
God,
son.
we've done it
and
now.
They
All
wanted
right.
me. They wanted me to shoot a video at Stingray City. That's I was one of the ones that really started shooting a lot of videos, and so I went on their boat, and they had the family and 3 or 4 Secret Service agents, and we did a thing at video at the Stingray. But then what we do at Fisheye, we would put an introduction with their names and all, and then we lay a soundtrack of music, and then we do a little Cayman Islands conclusion, and then we invite the family in to see it. And I'll never forget, we're sitting there, and the family and the son kept saying, "Oh, this is just great." He kept saying how great it was, and then he turned around and he asked me, he said, "Can you make one for Dad?" And I thought, yeah, I can make one for the president.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
what'd you
that's
get
pretty
out of
cool,
the
huh?
deal is the question, though. No traffic tickets for life kind of thing, or
No,
Yeah, right.
no.
oh
It was
jeez,
just,
you got screwed on
worked
that
out
one, Ed.
neat.
I'm sorry, but
no, my video was in the White House. That's sort of
well,
neat.
no, okay, that's pretty
That's still
good
pretty cool,
accolade
yeah.
right there. Good stuff. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. He's in the 2026 class of the Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Cayman Islands. We got more coming up with some other inductees next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. We're talking about the 2026 class for the induction into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. We have, Ed. We just talked to Ed. He's down in the Keys today, but he's getting inducted next year into the festivities this year later. And we just had a great conversation with him. He certified a son of a president, among other things. Introduced voodoo gas to the Cayman Islands. Nitrox is what we call it today. So let's work down our list. Our next subjects are, Willie, who do we have?
Jeff and Terry Leischer from Jack's Diving Locker, and they're coming to us from the beautiful island, the Big Island, correct? And they have a bunch of firsts, really, and they have so many things that they've done aside from establish that world famous manta night dive that now everybody talks about all over the world. They've been very active in the local community. They're both nonprofit and from a sustainability standpoint. So I'm going to kind of turn it over to them and let you guys chat with them because they've got a ton of things they've got their hands in.
Well,
and they're
yeah.
very worthy inductees.
Welcome to Scuba Radio, Jerry and Jeff, and Jeff. And I got to, what did I say, Terry and Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah, one of those.
Like
Okay,
that.
I want to go to Hawaii,
I'll be
though.
Jerry.
I want to go to Hawaii. I mean, you guys are living in paradise out there, obviously. But have you been there pretty much your whole lives doing this thing and sharing the love of diving, or what?
More than half of our lives. I've been here 43 years, no, 50 years.
Jeff
Wow.
came out after graduating from college, and my parents moved me out when I was in elementary school in the 60s.
Nice. Well, that manta night dive, I've done that. That is just like a bucket list experience. So you guys were in the beginning of that type of attraction that built up over the years, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
back in 83 when we
Wow.
got our first boat, like others that we've heard about today, we started with shore diving. We had a Volkswagen van. But once we got a boat, we tried diving at this place where mantas had been seen, and sure enough, it was amazing. And we'd be the only ones back in those days. But now, 100,000 people a year do it. I don't know, a lot.
Yeah. Well, no doubt. I mean, when I did it, I knew about Stingray City and the Caymans before that, But I don't know. Was that even before Stingray City? Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I doubt it. But it's like Stingray City on steroids because they're giant mantas. It's insane, but it's quite an experience for sure. So that is something. But what do you think, Terry? How do you feel about being inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame? You ever see this coming in all your years in Hawaii?
No, never thought anything like this would happen. We were totally surprised and extremely honored. And thank you so much.
But we've always wanted to go to Cayman, and we're really excited to.
Now you have an excuse.
Yep. Now you're getting that. Now you're getting that trip.
Yeah.
And you know what really attracted, I think, the board to because we had 35 submissions, I think, Steve, for the 26 class. I mean, and every one of them are very capable and very, worthy. But I was and I know you're involved in some foundation work, some nonprofits. I know you do mooring systems. I know you're involved in the Ironman races there. You're all over the community. But what really caught my eye was what you did during COVID, when the whole world was shut down, and dive resorts and dive shops were shuttering their doors, and everybody was struggling through this. I was so incredibly touched by what you did during this time. Would you talk a little about that? I know it's tooting your own horn, but it really is magnificent what you did.
Yeah, we were shut down. We weren't even allowed to go out on boats.
There were no tourists.
No visitors at all. We couldn't take even our Kama'aina Dive Club out. But anyway, try to boil it down very short. We take care of all the day use moorings up and down the coast here on the Kona coast, and commercial diving was allowed to happen. So one of our stores has a deli. It also is the only place where boats could fuel. And we're commercial divers, and we would take care of people's moorings. And we also took care of the day use moorings. So we had customers saying, can we just pay you to make sure that you guys stay in business during this? And we asked them to donate to Malamakai Foundation, which is a foundation we helped create, so that we could buy materials and go out and maintain all our moorings while everything was shut down. So we were allowed to do that. We were allowed to take our staff. We applied for PPP1, PPP2, and then we applied for the CARES Act, which we received $640,000. And as people were starting to go back to work, but the schools weren't open, we ran our children's program, our Marine Life Ambassador program, for kindergarten through high school, and had 4 different tracks that we could do. Kids were coming in, we were able to feed them breakfast and lunch and snack. We were able to purchase mast fin snorkel from our distributors that were also struggling, and give them free mast fins and snorkel. And we were able to allow them to do Zoom, teaching at school when they were able to do that. But we just basically put over 400 kids through our kids programs with the CARES Act, and kept them busy so they weren't latchkey kids, and that they had, meals to eat.
The kids, their parents could go back to work, and they were kids that probably couldn't have afforded the camps normally, and it was a hit.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, not all that great charitable work that you guys have done. That's just amazing. But you're in paradise too. The diving there in Kona. I mean, I was blown away when I spent like 48 hours diving the manta dive, and I saw more giant eels than I had ever seen in my life. I saw I've told this story on our show many times of some of the crazy encounters. I almost saw like a Godzilla kind of thing between an eel and an octopus in Kona. It was blowing my mind, but just great diving. And then one of the other highlights, I don't know, there in your neck of the woods, I don't know if this is what you guys did at your operation, but on the surface interval, they offered up donkey balls, which were chocolate covered macadamia nuts. Just to be clear. So it was a Hawaii thing, but I remember this stuff. You remember the the cool critters, the people, and all that kind of stuff in your neck of the woods. And I guess it kind of stuck on you, and you decided this is where you're going to plant roots and stay, right? And just share the love of it. Yeah.
And, for more than just the donkey balls, too.
Well, that's a draw, or, depending on your personal preference, I guess. But congratulations on being inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. And we got a really interesting guest for the next inductee.
Yes.
Thomas Cook is his name. And this is going to be one of the most unique interviews we've had on Scuba Radio, because he can hear me, but he has to communicate with me through his sign language interpreter, Jeff. So this is going to be a unique thing. So, but I'm looking forward to it. And, we've been exchanging dialogue the entire show, because we got the YouTube going, and I understand, thumbs up, everything, and it's okay. I'm feeling weird, Beyond that, I don't know, but he knows a little bit more about that, and we're going to dive a little deeper into it and discuss why he is being inducted into the 2026 Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Cayman Islands. That's coming up next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We're talking to the class of 2026 for the Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Cayman Islands. By the way, Amish Nachum standing by, or Amos Nachum, Nacho, I don't, he answers everything. We've had him on, but he's going to join us in just a bit. And also, we have someone standing by from Malaysia. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. He's that dedicated to be on our goofy little show and share his love of diving with you. So those guys are coming up shortly. However, we have one of our inductees right now, Thomas Cook, who is the founder of Aquahands. And we're going to talk with Thomas here, Willie and Steve, but he doesn't speak. He uses sign language to communicate because he's deaf or can't hear, or, well, he can hear, but he can't talk, right? He's nodding his head. I got that much because I can see him on YouTube. And
I don't hear you at all. I don't speak at all. I don't hear you at all.
Well, then he's one lucky SOB then, isn't he? There, Jeff is interpreter, spelling that out. But I don't think we've ever done this on Scuba Radio before, but it's good to know. And I love his expressions because I'm getting everything he's saying just by watching his face. So, Willie, why don't you set this up beyond what he does as a founder of Aquahands and what it is and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll dive a little deeper into his induction into the Hall of Fame.
So Thomas was one of the candidates that the board looked at. Stephen and myself and the rest of the board talked very much about this because he's a pioneer. He's doing something, he's a trailblazer. He's doing something that's never been done before. He's a PADI course director that teaches, of course, instructors and all the way down to water divers. And, he is taking what some people might perceive as a disability and turned it into an incredible advantage or an asset. And him and I had a long conversation at the DEMA show, and I even gave myself a challenge that I'd like to introduce him at the ceremony this fall with sign language, because it has the ability for every diver to change the way they dive. If you just knew, I think we talked about 25 standard hand signals, you could actually communicate underwater. I mean, you wouldn't be able to say, how big is that fish over there under that rock, but you'd be able to communicate far better than just up and down and out of air, things like that.
Well, Willie, I got to stop you. You said you were talking to him at the DEMA show. I walked by you guys. I thought you were just having a game of charades. Do you actually know a lot of sign language yourself, or what?
I learned a few things.
Yeah.
Applause.
Okay.
If I get this one right, shark, I think, was this.
Yeah.
Shark.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Shark. Got the other way. Yeah. Shark. And
I know bull shark,
yeah.
if you know what I mean. That was a whole nother thing, but I don't know if that's an official sign language thing. I just would do that just to annoy people. But I mean, but you're right. I mean, when you're underwater, you can't hear anyway. And the more sign language you know, the more you can communicate with your fellow divers. I've always thought that was important.
He told me, and I'm sure that Jeffrey's going to interpret some comments here from him, but he told me that during his classes, he moves so much faster through the material because, especially if you're doing an IDC or a teaching instructor class, you have these briefings, you go down, you do it, then you do these evaluations, and you go back down, do the next person. He can just do all that underwater.
Nice.
There's no surface interval. If a student does something wrong, you can explain it to them what they did wrong, and they can do it all over again. And I mean, what an amazing ability! It's really truly making a very unique situation where you take something that most people, like I said, see as a disability, and I see it as an incredible asset, incredible advantage. I bet he's a great course director.
Well, congratulations to you for sure, there, Thomas, and Steve. I want to bring you in on this as well because, working there with the Hall of Fame, the other thing was the dive against debris that he's involved with. You want to talk about that a little bit, Steve? Or what do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, just, over the last few years, our goal has been to make the Hall of Fame more international from all corners of the planet, and also look for people that are doing, just not what people expect, and what Thomas has done with the aqua hands, and then to go just beyond that, and all of the other, whether it's diving for debris, or the amount of people that he's introduced either to environmental causes or just to scuba diving in general. It's surprising that more of this hasn't happened sooner. So I really hope this is a springboard for even more people to learn to scuba dive, and to not see it as a limit, and to actually to see it as an opportunity.
Well,
as they're much better equipped under the waves than I am, for sure, to communicate.
Well, he's made his challenge a superpower. It sounds like to me.
That's so well said.
Dives against debris. I've heard of that, but what are finathons, Tom? I mean, can you explain what a finathon is?
Sure, yeah. So the finathon is something that I started as a project aware course. And I took it with me and my daughter, my oldest daughter, and I think she was 11 or 12 at the time. And we fundraised over $5,000 and to battle against shark finning. And so we made the donation, raised a lot of money. And so we had people swimming laps in the pool, swimming in the ocean, and everybody that swim paid $10, like $10 per lap or $5 per lap. So we took all the money that we got, $5,000 in total, and to learn a patio aware program to help lobby against shark finning wherever it was still legal at the time. So that's what we did with the money. That was back in what year was that? 2017, 2016, something like that. And then the same year, it just kind of progressed along, and we did a lot of the dive against debris projects. When we went to the Bahamas, we had a cancellation because the weather was really bad. And so let's do some other kind of fun dives. And we were trying to figure out where to do. So we went around the hotel area, and there was a boat right there that we just jumped off of, and we swam right around the front of the shoreline, in front of the hotel, picked up all the debris, all the trash that was inside of out of the ocean right in front of the hotel. And we did it. So we still got to dive, but we picked up all the trash while we were there. And it was really a great time. We've done a lot of things here in Florida as well, in St. Pete, in Tampa. We always have Gasparilla in February. They have people that have all those boats and those parades, and there's all things, people throwing stuff, all these beads go everywhere. They end up out in the ocean.
Yeah.
And after
sharks
that,
flying off, all that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He did not do the sign for that. Wait a minute. Jeff is his interpreter. There, now he did.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that too. But we went and cleaned up after the Gasparilla stuff too. So after that was happening, so we just try to do our best and try to do as much as we can to clean up everything and keep it going. But I'm from Texas, so I grew up from Texas, but now I live here in Florida. And when I learned how dirty that the Pacific Ocean really was, it's worse than Texas. so
clean it up.
Big. You have to clean it all up, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we tried to do.
Well, congratulations. I mean, it's well deserved. You're doing an amazing work, and wow, talk about taking a challenge and just turning it into something that's super beneficial for divers around the world. And congratulations to you as being inducted into the class of 2026. for the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame in the Cayman Islands. All right, hour 2 is on deck. We got Amos standing by. We're going to check in with our friend from Malaysia. So, special edition of the big show today. Talking about Hall of Fame time, the big guys today. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving. And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. We got a special edition of the big show today. We're talking to the 2026 inductees into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Cayman Islands. Willie Klein with me to help out, as well as Steve, who is the chairman for the International Diving Hall of Fame committee. And Willie's like executive director.
AKA janitor, right?
Yeah, they
I do the cleanup.
That's right. Whatever hat is available, they put it on and take care of business. But it's about recognizing people's contributions over the years to the dive industry, and it's an impressive facility. We'll probably get a little deeper into that a little bit later on. But we got our next inductee. So it's Saeed is in Malaysia. It's like 4:00 in the morning, by the way. For him right now. That is dedication, and we appreciate
Rahman. I'm trying.
Yeah. Well,
Tell us how to pronounce your name again, Saeed.
Exactly. How do you say it, Saeed?
Saeed Abdul Rahman.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
It's better he say it than us.
So Greg, there's two people in the world that I'm aware of, and he's in a rare club with just two people. Yeah. The only other person I've ever heard that even remotely does what he does is our good friend Margot Payton at Kids Sea Camps Family Divers. And she's done thousands and certified thousands of children. Hers is very focused on the travel side of it. But Saeed does something very, very similar over in Malaysia, but he has a whole different dynamic and element to his work. He works with a lot of the kids with disabilities. He works very closely with the Dive Heart Foundation. In fact, I think he's the chapter chairman or whatever for Malaysia for Dive Heart. But just such a great guy. And Steve and the board saw his information come through among the other 36 candidates and said, this is it. There wasn't even any question. He was certainly well worthy to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I'll turn it over to you and Saeed.
Congrats, Saeed. I mean, in your words, what sets you apart from what like Margot has done with the kids and things in your neck of the woods in Asia, I guess, right?
Yeah. First and foremost, thank you very much to everyone, to William, and also to the management of the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame for this nomination. Here in Kids Scuba, we specialize in training kids, special kids, and also youth who are special and with special disability. And in Kids Scuba, we work closely with certain rehab hospital, in which we do the rehabilitation process with regards to water therapy in assisting the special kids, the youth that needs additional assistance, especially with regards to water. So with Kids Scuba as well, we have done we do regular weekend classes with regards to the kids, the special kids, and also I just like to share a note here that we train some of the Malaysian Paralympic team to get them certified as scuba diver, and some of them has evolved to become advanced and also rescue diver. And we train special kids and also youth with certain disability, which is the visual impaired, hearing impaired, amputees, paraplegic, and also quadriplegic.
Wow. Well, Saeed, I mean, you're obviously doing amazing work, and it's hard not to just be, in awe of what you've accomplished. And it's nice you're being recognized for it, for sure. But I mean, what got you into this path and your diving career? What did something trigger your path and say, this is the kind of diving I wanted to start to do? I mean, usually when I talk to folks that get into this line, whether they're connected with Dive Hard or one of the other, challenging organizations that are trying to bring more people with issues into the sport, there was something that happened when they were diving or in their life that just, they heard a calling. Is that what happened for you, or what? What do you think?
I've been diving for 35 years, and after seeing the beautiful underwater marine life at the Malaysian marine parks, then I realized that there was no setup for children in Malaysia and parts of the Asia region. So 22 years ago, we set up Kids Scuba, and then we did regular pool classes over the weekends. I don't play golf, so my weekends are always in the pool, and the kids are my bosses. And one thing evolved into another, that some of the parents recommended to me, Said, why don't we do Kids Scuba Camp? I said, okay, that's a good idea. So from there, we evolved. Every school holiday, we plan for scuba camps for the kids to go to part of the islands with the parents, and they do. And I realized that it's a good family bonding for the kids and the families as well. Moving forward to that is that now we do a special program with the hospital, especially with the special kids. And we do it together with the doctors, the professors, the consultants, in which they are excited to go to the island to bring their patients and the family as well. And I see that as a very strong and bonding, and it's so impressive that I'm speechless of what the special kids are able to do now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. And I'm sure you appreciate the accolades of being inducted into the Hall of Fame here in the Cayman Islands. But I'm guessing the payback on something like that is when you see it in the kid's face after they accomplish something they thought they never would be able to do with whatever challenge they're dealing with. Is that the case?
Yeah. Getting inducted into Scuba Diving Hall of Fame is actually a tremendous surprise to me, and I was speechless to receive the email and say, like, wow, this is something different that I've never expected over the years of giving back to the community and working with rehab hospitals and all this. And I'd like to share with you that in Malaysia, we also work with the academic faculty. The universities comes to us to do research on what are the results of the youth and also the kids, the special kids that they can achieve over what we have trained them for water therapy involving scuba diving.
Nice.
Wow.
Very
wow,
nice.
Steve. It's amazing. That's amazing. Steve, I think this speaks really well to the board's decision on choosing the class this year based on all of the different disciplines within diving. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, we hope that it inspires other, instructors to kind of follow this example. And, if there were programs, we'll see it has in, even, 10 other countries or 20 other countries, that would be a remarkable step forward. So if the spotlight on what SAID has done will reach some, there's other people out there that are capable of establishing and running these programs in different parts of the world, then hopefully they will take his lead, and we'll see these kind of programs expand further.
Yeah, we want people to be inspired by your story there, Saeed. It's a pretty powerful one for sure.
Thank you, Saeed. Yeah, thank you. Speaking of inspiration,
the man
we have the inspiration himself. In fact, the next candidate, I'll cue this up before we have to go to commercial. There's very few candidates we've ever had in the Hall of Fame that have had a major motion picture made about their life.
That's true.
That's
and we got one of them. That's right.
We got one of them.
Coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We got Amos Nachum with us right now. I say Nachum, I don't know. Which one do you like more, Amos?
Nachum.
I better just let him say it. Otherwise, he's going to take me out. But he's diving with, great whites, hammerheads, and then he goes into polar bears.
Polar bears. One of 6 people on the planet, as I recall, that's actually dove with polar bears. Is that correct? Almost.
Probably. Yeah. There you go. And he has a movie that just came out about him. It's been a year. Has it been longer than that now, or what do you think, Amos?
The movie was produced and published in 2019.
2019. Okay. See, time flies. You know, I cross paths with Amos every now and then at the dive shows, and it's always fun to catch up with him. But man, time flies. It's about time you're being inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. It's almost surprising you haven't already been there with all the crazy stuff you've done, my friend.
That's exactly, I think, what Steve said when when the candidate came up. He said, "Wait a minute, he's not in already."
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember that, Steve?
Well,
yeah. I don't know how we missed Amos. I really don't. But, it's okay. We've
fixed that.
Yeah, well, right. He's hard to miss, but he's always traveling around the world diving with big animals. That's his thing. So, Amos, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about being inducted into the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame there in the Cayman Islands? It's part of
I am so honored, and I thank you for the committee and for the nomination. I did not expect it, and I am just in awe of the people that participate with Saeed, with the Fleischer, and with Edutidis, that I know him from the beginning of time when he started Cayman.
Yeah.
So it is a wonderful team to be part of, and group of luminaries, and how they led the diving industry till this point, and to be together with them, sharing the floor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he's been around for years. Ever since I've been doing Scuba Radio, I've heard Amos stories. And he says, you got to come out and dive with the polar bears with me, Craig. And I'm like, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
That's so well said.
I'd rather just look at your pictures, Amos. I love them. I mean, you get so many just unbelievable shots. I mean, people look at it today and think, this can't be real. It must be some kind of avatar trickery that you got. But you get out there and take pictures of animals that people just didn't think you could get that close to, let alone a picture with that says so much. But how do you do it? That's an easy question for you to answer, isn't it?
That was part of the mission when I looked at the diving business at the time. From 1980 till 1990, I ran mostly trip into the famous places in the world at the time, the Red Sea, the Galapagos, and the Maldives, opening those destinations for diver. But what I realized, that there is a tremendous amount of fear and lack of understanding about the ocean giant or the gentle giant. And I start developing the program of how to introduce people to be with either the crocodile, the anaconda, the great white, and the polar bear in open water and safely. Interestingly enough, people call me till today that I'm one of the riskiest person in the diving business.
Right.
Until today, thanks to God and to my head, that I've never lost anybody or hurt anybody, or none of the people that dive with me ever got hurt with any of the big animal on the ocean giant. Mm-hmm. The concept is that the fear, the enemy of fear is experience and knowledge. And that's what I invested in myself in the beginning. I did it on my own, like the trip that William mentioned about the black leopard or the Ethiopian wolf. I go by myself first, learn about how to deal with it, how to come with the images and the story. Mm-hmm. Then I bring people, and then I create magazine story, and creating a relationship by creating emotional and visual storytelling about the ability to be in the wilderness, in the magnificent wildlife, and safely.
Yeah, in their part of the world, in their part of that's what's me and you are very different though, because like in that case, I wouldn't be the first one to go do that. I would actually take someone with me and put them in front of me.
I want to be the 20,000th person to do it. Right, exactly.
But you're right. No, I kid, but you don't go in like a crazy person. I mean, you watch them, you kind of watch their behavior and kind of study them, and slowly but surely kind of figure out what can you do, how far can you go, and get that picture that you think will do the job that you're trying to get across, which is like, hey, these are beautiful animals. We got to figure out why they do what they do and how to protect them and keep them around for generations to come, right?
It is about not just the respect, but also how to create harmony with the wilderness under the condition of the ocean, a condition of the environment, and how we can relate to the animal and understand the animal pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
And when we understand the animal behavior, then we can shadow them. We can be along with them and be able to get how magnificent are this wilderness that we are blessed to be on this planet with. Like the Fleischer, when they started to do with the manta rays at night there. And I had a chance to do it as well in the 80s.
Yeah, well,
So,
exactly.
It is just to take it one step, like each one of us in the leadership, taking one step at a time forward and expanding the education about nature, about the wilderness where we're in, and how we can really protect it because we understand it better.
Yes. Well, if anybody, if you've ever had the opportunity to see Amos in person at one of the dive shows around the world or the movie, you obviously are extremely passionate about all these animals and the marine environment, and that's inspiring. And I think that's one of the reasons you are who you are.
And
a legend
if
in the industry.
Anybody out there wants to see the film, all you got to do is just Google his name and put film behind it, and it'll pop up. It's that popular.
The name of the movie is Picture of His Life. It's Double Entendre. It's picture about my life, and the picture of my life that I wanted to make the most is be able to photograph a polar bear underwater safely, but not only one. I was lucky. I did not plan on it. It is no way I could manage it, but she showed up together with 2 cubs.
And that was a cover shot you gave for the magazine. So thank you, by the way, Amos. That was fantastic last year sometime.
Good stuff indeed. All right, we got more coming up on the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Stay close.